I'm Greenhouse Bob, and these short videos will help the beginner with a greenhouse learn some of the tricks I've come across in the last 12 years. Come on. This is our third discussion of climate control in the greenhouse. We've talked about sunlight, we talked about humidity, now the big one, temperature. That's the whole reason we have a greenhouse. Control the temperature. So it's hotter in here, so you can grow things you couldn't grow out there, especially exotic plants. Extend your garden season. So let's talk about temperature. Most plants prefer a temperature from 50 to 70. Now you may have palm trees and bananas, orchids, African violets that want it even hotter. So you have to manage the climate inside for whatever you're trying to grow. Now I'm fortunate that I live 3 miles from the ocean in Central California. What's nice about that is the weather doesn't get much above 75 degrees in the summer and doesn't get below 35 in the winter. The ocean moderates our climate so it's not too high, not too low. So I can get away with single pane glass and no electrical. But depending on where you live, it could be a whole different story. So temperature. You don't want it too hot, you don't want it too cold. Well, it is a hot house. So what do we do when it starts to get too hot in here? We've all done this. You parked a car in a big parking lot in the hot sun for an afternoon. Go to the beach, go shopping, whatever. You come back hours later, you open the car door and it's like a desert wind. It's so hot inside the car, you can't even hold the steering wheel. That's the greenhouse effect. That's what we're doing here. But like that car, you don't want it that hot. So what do? We learn when we park the car that long, put the windows down a little bit. Let some air in and out. Same thing for a greenhouse. Ventilation, people. Now heat rises. So that's why the importance of having the roof vents to let the hot air out. My roof vents are temperature actuated, non-electric, so they'll open up when it starts getting a certain temperature, help get the hot air out. The other thing is you want air moving through here. Okay, you're thinking it's summer, it's really hot outside, it's very hot in here, and you want me to let hot air come through? Well, yes. A movement of air is better than none. Remember that car with all the windows closed off, sitting in the sun. Same thing if I lock this box up and let the sun just beat in it. I would rather have air moving through. I also have a solar fan so that it can expel exhaust. I'm going to put in another one when I redo the roof panels. So a movement of air is important. Another one is moisture. We've talked about humidity, but when it gets really hot, that humidity can just evaporate. So there's different things people do. What I do is I have a water hose and I can mist, so I can manually add moisture into the air. Okay? Now, some people will go to the trouble, if you have brick or cement, to put water so that it will evaporate from the hot sun, is to let the water help soak up the heat. You ever heard of a swamp cooler? It's an old-fashioned air conditioner. Water goes down some kind of a filter material and a fan blows air through it, and that can also cool things off. So these are all ways to help cool a too hot greenhouse. Ventilation, moisture, and now the most important, come on, is shade cloth. This is a weatherproof fabric, and it comes in a weave or that blocks 30 to 70% of the sun going in. Now today is winter solstice, so it's the least number of sun hours in the day this week. So I really want to let as much sun as I can, because it's not as warm and we got less sun hours, so I'm trying to get as much as I can in there. But in the summer, I roll this down all the way to cover the entire south side of the greenhouse to keep too much heat from going in. If we go back to our car in the parking lot analogy, it's like when you put those Mylar things in the windshield in the front and the back to keep it from getting too hot. Same thing here. So that's how we can help control heat. Now, how are we gonna control the climate at nighttime? Summer, winter, sun goes down, it's gonna cool off. Now where I am, summer, at nighttime, it's wonderful in here. In the winter though, it's getting cold at night, less sunlight. I'm still growing things, but what's happening is they're half asleep. They're not growing vigorously, which is fine. I'm really testing to see what works in the winter. But if you have snow outside, it's a whole nother story. You're gonna need double pane glass or triple walled polycarbonate just to help keep it warm. It probably also means you need some source of heat, and that usually means an electric or a gas heater. People have tried wood heaters, but I don't like the idea of the fumes coming off of a kerosene kind of or wood burning stove. But anyway, either in the winter you don't use the greenhouse or you're gonna have to heat it. In which case, if you have delicate plants in the winter and you can't take them in the house and you want to keep them out here, you need the heat, and you're also going to need sunlight to give them what they're lacking, which is fewer sunlight hours in the winter. So that's the thing with temperature. It's going to happen, we can deal with it, and you can enjoy your greenhouse. Bye-bye.